Good day, everyone. My name is Jennifer Dumoulin, and I am a fifth-year PhD candidate at the Department of Communications at the University of Ottawa in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. I would like to begin by thanking the organizing committee of the 5th International Conference on Communication and Media Studies for the opportunity to present my research paper entitled Beyond Contagion, Using the Power of Popular Culture to Dispel Fear and Misinformation in a Time of Crisis. This 5-minute video will provide a brief overview of the research that I conducted in April 2020 at the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic in North America. I'd like to show this brief 40-second video to frame my presentation.
Hey everybody, this is Matt Damon. So a few years ago, a bunch of us did this movie called Contagion, which we've noticed is creeping its way back up on the charts on iTunes for obvious reasons, given what we're all living through right now. And so the Mailman School of Public Health at Columbia University reached out to the cast and asked us if we would have a virtual reunion to do some PSAs for everybody that might be helpful. And so we readily agreed, and so here they are.
The PSAs, or public service announcements, were part of a campaign entitled Control the Contagion, developed by Columbia University's Mailman School of Public Health. The PSAs were written by many of the infectious disease, medical, and media experts who consulted on Contagion and were filmed by the actors or their families in their own homes. Recognizing that confusing, conflicting, and inaccurate information about the pandemic was being distributed through all forms of media, the stated purpose of the PSAs was to, quote, share evidence-based information about COVID-19, end quote. 5 actors from the film, Matt Damon, Kate Winslet, Lawrence Fishburne, Jennifer Eel, and Marion Cotillard, took to their smartphones and other devices to share distinct but related messages to the COVID-19 pandemic. My research project considered how each of the Contagion-inspired PSAs attempted to capitalize on the resurging popularity of the film by correcting, reinforcing, and countering fake and embellished news about the virus. It also compared select events in Contagion with what was being reported in Canadian and US news media about COVID-19 to demonstrate the relevance and timeliness of the PSAs and to draw similarities between the narratives found in fiction and non-fiction representations of outbreak scenarios. The PSAs acknowledge similar events and messaging that took place on screen in the film Contagion and in real life related to COVID-19. Some of these included the use of social distancing and hand washing as measures to prevent the transmission of the virus, how the virus can be transmitted through fomites or surfaces, comparison to other long-forgotten viruses like polio, smallpox, the Spanish flu, H1N1, and SARS, and how long it could take to develop a vaccine. Among other things, I found that the PSAs attempted to correct the following narratives that were emerging in news media: that people could be immune to COVID-19, and that the virus was not a Chinese virus or a virus that did not affect the young and healthy. These corrections contradicted narratives that emerged in the film Contagion. Despite eerie similarities to the COVID-19 outbreak, I am by no means suggesting that the film Contagion predicted or influenced the medical, political, media, or public responses to COVID-19 in North America or across the world. Rather, the purpose of this project is to recognize that, as Davis said, much like viruses, pandemic narratives proliferate and spread. In so doing, this project calls attention to the important role that popular culture can play in shaping and correcting those narratives. Thus, while education may not be a primary or even stated goal of the entertainment industry, content creators and producers should be conscious of the messages they are presenting to current and future audiences. Should all fictional television and film programs, or at least those found within certain genres, such as infection film, be required to provide a disclaimer that they are not based on real persons or events? Perhaps. Regardless, it's important to keep in mind that, quote, like the ships of centuries past, the speed of modern air travel works wonders for the dispersal of infectious diseases. The same can certainly be said for the dispersal of infection narratives via modern media. Thank you.